It was one of those gloomy, rain-drenched afternoons in New York City, when the world seemed to rush by without a second glance at anyone. People huddled under umbrellas, splashing through puddles, too busy with their lives to notice a small boy sitting alone on the curb. His clothes were threadbare, his face streaked with raindrops and tears, and a crumpled cardboard sign rested on the wet pavement beside him. "Hungry, please help." Jamal was used to being ignored. At just 10 years old, he had learned the hard way that the world didn't stop for kids like him. His stomach growled as the scent of roasting chestnuts from a street vendor filled the air. A businessman nearly tripped over him, muttering something about kids being in the way as he adjusted his Bluetooth headset. Jamal lowered his head, clutching his knees tightly. "Hey there, buddy," a deep, gentle voice said suddenly, cutting through the cacophony of the city. Startled, Jamal looked up. Standing in front of him was a man wearing a black jacket, jeans, and scuffed boots. His dark hair was damp from the rain, and his face held a kind, curious expression. "You okay?" the man asked, crouching down so they were at eye level. "I'm fine," Jamal muttered, pulling his hoodie tighter around him. He had learned not to trust strangers. The man tilted his head slightly, studying him with concern. "You don't look fine," he said. "What are you doing out here in the rain?" Jamal shrugged. "What does it matter?" "It matters to me," the man said simply. He glanced at the soggy sign and then back at Jamal. "Hungry, huh? How about we grab a bite to eat?" Jamal blinked, unsure whether to trust him. "Why would you want to help me?" he asked skeptically. The man smiled, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Because I can," he said, "and because no one should be sitting in the rain with an empty stomach. My name's Keanu, by the way." Jamal didn't recognize him. Why would he? He didn't have a TV, and movie stars didn't exactly wander through his part of town. "I'm Jamal," he said cautiously. "Well, Jamal, what do you say? There's a diner just up the street. Warm food, dry seats, and you can tell me what's on your mind." Jamal hesitated, his stomach twisting with hunger and uncertainty. Finally, he stood, clutching his sign tightly. "Okay, but just for food." Keanu nodded, his smile widening. "Deal." The diner was small and cozy, with red leather booths and the smell of frying bacon in the air. As they walked in, a waitress behind the counter called out, "Hey, Keanu, your usual spot?" Jamal's eyebrows shot up. "She knows you?" Keanu chuckled. "Yeah, I come here sometimes. Best grilled cheese in the city." They slid into a booth, and Keanu handed Jamal a menu. "Order anything you want," he said. Jamal hesitated, unsure if he could believe him. "Anything?" "Anything," Keanu confirmed. "I mean, if you order everything, we might have a problem, but you get the idea." "Anything," Keanu confirmed. "I mean, if you order everything, we might have a problem, but you get the idea." That made Jamal smile, a small, cautious smile, but a smile nonetheless. He ordered a grilled cheese and tomato soup, and as the waitress walked away, Keanu leaned back and studied him. "So," he said, "what's your story, Jamal?" Jamal shrugged. "Not much to tell. My mom works a lot. We live in a shelter most of the time. Sometimes there's food, sometimes there's not." Keanu's expression softened. "That's tough. How's school?" Jamal sighed. "It's okay. Some kids make fun of me 'cause I don't have new clothes or cool shoes. But mom says I can't fight back, or I'll get in trouble." "She sounds smart," Keanu said, nodding. "But that doesn't make it easy, does it?" Jamal shook his head. "No." Their food arrived, and for a while, Jamal focused on eating while Keanu sipped his coffee. When Jamal finished, Keanu reached into his pocket and pulled out a crisp $100 bill, sliding it across the table. "This is for you and your mom," he said. "Get some warm clothes, maybe some groceries." Jamal stared at the bill, his eyes wide. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious," Keanu said with a grin. "But there's a catch." Jamal frowned. "What catch?" "You have to promise me something," Keanu said. "Be kind to yourself, to your mom, to the people who don't see you the way they should. The world's a hard place, but kindness, it can change everything." Jamal hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, I promise." As they left the diner, Keanu stopped at the door. "Jamal," he said, crouching down again to meet the boy's eyes. "You're going to be okay. I can feel it." Jamal frowned, confused. "What do you mean?" Keanu just smiled. "You'll see." A week later, something strange happened. Jamal's mom came home from work with tears in her eyes. "What's wrong, Mom?" Jamal asked, worried. She held up a piece of paper, her hands trembling. It's not what's wrong, baby. It's what's right. Someone paid our rent for 6 months, and they left this. She handed him a note. It read, Jamal, you matter more than you know. Keep your promise. K.R. Jamal's heart raced. Keanu, he whispered. Years later, Jamal would look back on that rainy afternoon as the moment his life changed. Keanu's kindness wasn't just about the money or the meal. It was about seeing Jamal when the world refused to. That small act of kindness inspired Jamal to give back. He graduated high school, earned a scholarship, and started his own nonprofit to help kids like him. And every letter he sent to donors ended the same way. Be kind. It changes everything. Keanu Reeves didn't just help a hungry boy that day. He reminded us all that a single act of kindness can create ripples far beyond what we see. So, the next time you have a chance to help someone, remember, you might just be the stranger who changes everything.